Cubs drop a heartbreaker to the Phillies in extra innings. And could Chris Sale be for sale? We got to talk about it, y'all. And then some. First, got to hit you with that intro. Welcome in, everybody, to another episode of Chicago Cubs Central, your number one spot for all things Chicago Cubs. And yes, I am your host, Mike Jones, here again with you, talking about our favorite subject, the Chicago Cubs. That's right, the Chicago Cubs do end up dropping a game to the Philadelphia Phillies tonight. The Cubs dropped to 40-26, while the Phillies improved to 38-28. Chicago, like I said, I expected the Detroit series, and I kind of expected the Chicago Cubs and the Phillies series not to be easy series. These are not going to be easy series for the Chicago Cubs to win. I would be happy with the game at each series. And I know for a lot of people, they're like, well, why are you selling our team so short, Mike? And it's not that I'm selling our team short. It's that we've had a very good string of good luck and not running into teams' aces. We were bound to eventually end up having to run into somebody's ace. And it just happens that we met Tariq Skubal in the last series. Jack Flaherty pitched like an ace Sunday. And then, of course, tonight, somebody that I really cannot stand for the Phillies. Like I said, the Phillies ace Zach Wheeler came through, and then it doesn't get any easier because Wednesday in the 12-10 game, we're going to see Jesus Luzardo, who is a lefty who gave the Cubs all types of fits when the Phillies came to Chicago earlier this year. Chicago Cubs have some room for error right now. We do have a little margin for error right now, so I'm not overly concerned. And especially with all the things swirling around about how Chicago is gearing up to really be active during this trade deadline and make some big moves happen. So again, like I said, I mean, the Chicago Cubs are going to do what they have to do in order to be a World Series contender is what it feels like. But back to this game. I mean, this game is one of those prototypical Cubs-Phillies games. Pat Hughes talked about it all game long. I listened on the radio today instead of watching. Sometimes I like to do it old school and listen on the radio. Pat Hughes, y'all, is legit one of the best radio commentators. I love his stories. I love his style, his swag, and how he carries himself on the radio. And I mean, I just enjoy listening to him. It's like a joy, literal joy to hear him say, Chicago Cubs baseball is on the air. I don't know why my face scrunched up when I did that. I just imagine that's how he talks. But anyways, Pat Hughes is a GOAT. But neither none of that. You had Ian Happ with the big home run to tie the game up. Chicago struggled, man, throughout this game to score runs. But again, you're going up against somebody's ace. You're going to get the best. Although Matthew Boyd did pitch 6 innings, he allowed 8 hits, only 1 earned run, 2 walks, no strikeouts in this game. But again, he did what he had to do to get the outs. Matthew Boyd has been a revelation for the Chicago Cubs. You know, as I'm listening to the game or I'm watching the game, I'm usually beginning to think about what are my stories or my main topics going to be for the episode for that night. And again, like I said, with Matthew Boyd, it's just been consistency. It's been consistency all season long for him. You really have to pat him and Colin Ray on the back for how consistent they've been, especially in place of Justin Steele. You can just imagine what this squad would be like had we had Justin Steele and had Schroeder still been healthy also. I mean, Chicago Cubs would have been a tough squad to go against because the way that Steele, I mean, the way that Boyd is pitching, he's pitching like a very good starter. He's pitching like a 2 or 3, not a back end of the rotation type of guy. So, again, like I said, he just has come through and provided the Chicago Cubs quality innings each of his starts. He dropped his ERA to 2.89 on the season. So, I mean, 73 pitches, 53 of those being strikes. So, And then after him, Ryan Presley came in, did give up one hit, did get two strikeouts, big, huge strikeouts to end an inning, got himself out of trouble. Brad Keller then came in, allowed three hits on 1.1 innings pitched. And like I said, did not give up an earned run or a hit. Drew Pomerantz came in and only pitched zero point 0.2 innings, zero point 0.2 portions of an inning, and literally did not give up any hits, any runs, and the bases the bases were really really juiced for that. But Dane Palencia did not have his best stuff today. Dane Palencia came in, pitched the 11th inning, the inning that the Chicago Cubs did lose. He allowed four hits in that inning, one earned run, one walk in that inning. Just did not have his best stuff. They were seeing it good coming off of Palencia. And again, you're gonna have that. You're gonna have that. Everybody's gonna have that. I really expect Ryan Presley to call Dane Palencia to his room tonight, as he has done in the past, and really sit him down and talk with him about the closing role and what it looks like when they put you in. I mean, again, as a closer, you wear your emotions on your sleeve, and it's tough. I mean, Craig Kimbrell is one of the best closers baseball has ever seen, and he just got DFA'd by the Atlanta Braves. So I mean, any and everybody is expendable at this point. Like I said, in the game. So you have to, if you're Dane Palencia, you got to shrug off this game. It was one game. It was not your best outing. You will have other opportunities before the leash gets pulled from you. Like I said, Porter Hodge is still rehabbing. So I mean, there will be other opportunities for you to close out games for the Chicago Cubs. And next time he'll be sure to bring his best stuff. Again, Chicago Cubs are 40-26 here in June, on June 9th. There is no caution necessary right now. There is no reason for concern right now. You're not going to win every game. That's just point blank how it goes in the MLB. You're not going to win every game. You play a lot of baseball games. You are not going to win every game. There are going to be games where you just don't have your best stuff. Chicago Cubs ran up against a Phillies team that was gained and ready to play. So Chicago Cubs got to wake up tomorrow and, like I said, play another game of baseball. And like I said, we'll see what happens. So, yeah, the like I said, and of everybody, it would be Brandon Marsh that would give up the that would hit the run to win the game, or hit the base hit to win the game for the freaking Phillies. He has been a Cub killer for such a long time. But yeah, we move on from that to today's main topic, this episode's main topic. Chris Sale, guys. Listen, the Chicago Cubs have been rumored as one of the teams that could potentially bring the Atlanta Braves a nice haul if they do decide to break it all up this year, because they just have failed to really have any success this season. The Atlanta Braves are struggling. And they, although they did beat the Brewers tonight 7-1, and their record is 28-37 on the season. So like I said, the Atlanta Braves are struggling, they are scuffling. However, they are still 6 games below 500 and rapidly falling out of contention in the NL East. So again, Chris Sale's name is coming up. Why is Chris Sale's name coming up? Because he's a freaking monster. He can pitch his ass off. He's an $18 million club option for 2026. And like I said, so the Atlanta Braves do have the opportunity to get back a haul for him. I do want to preface this by saying Atlanta does have the talent and the star power to be able to turn this season around. So you don't want to count them out just yet. But the closer you get to July, the more you look at it, like, man, I mean, the Chicago Cubs could very well use somebody like Chris Sale. Like I said, he's the reigning NL Cy Young winner in his age 37 campaign, and he'll be 38 next year. He's back on that Cy Young track right now, boasting an impressive 2.93 ERA and a 1.24 WHIP through 12 starts. He's still missing bats, 96 strikeouts, and 73.2 innings. And he's trending up, not trending down, with a 1.44 ERA over his last 8 starts. dude is still elite on the season, man. I'm telling you, like I said, he is still one of the best. And the Chicago Cubs definitely need a strikeout pitcher. So, what would the Chicago Cubs and Jed Hoyer be willing to give up to go get an ace for 2 seasons? What would they be willing to give up? Again, the Kyle Tucker trade has already pushed the Cubs into a new stratosphere of contention. It also put them on the clock, as keeping Tucker in free agency is by no means a guarantee. So if we want to cash in on having Kyle Tucker, we have to have we need pitching. Shoda Managa is injured. Justin Steele's out for the season. So again, the Chicago Cubs are looking for a true frontline ace. The Cubs farm system ranks among the very best in baseball, with a collection of prospects like Kevin Alcantara, both immediate and long-term needs, like Owen Casey also. One question is whether or not the Braves want to send Sale to another National League team. But trading Sale is tantamount to admitting defeat on the season and kicking the can down the road. But Chicago can restock or a mediocre Braves pipeline and give Atlanta something to look forward to. Sale, meanwhile, gives Craig Counsell his long-awaited ace and allows Chicago to put all of its efforts into scaling the mountaintop this season, with Tucker and Pete Crow Armstrong both delivering at MVP levels right now. Listen, it just makes sense for the Chicago Cubs to go ahead and make this deal. So I ask you guys the question of the day: what would you be willing to give up to get Chris Sale on this team? Who would you be willing to give up from our farm system, from AAA, to get Chris Sale on the Chicago Cubs team? I want you guys to give me your best trade offers, trade packages below. Comment below. Let me know. Let's talk hypothetically. Um, Again, I'm of the mindset that you're re-signing Kyle Tucker. So I'm of the mindset that makes Owen Casey expendable. So I'm very much willing to give up Owen Casey in a deal and send him to the Atlanta Braves if that means you're able to pull in a starter, a ace, a stud like Chris Sale for the Chicago Cubs and really freaking go on a run here. To get Chris Sale on this team would change everything. It essentially wins you the Central Division for the most part if he stays healthy and the rest of the team stays healthy, because that's an ace right there. And that's a guy that's able to give you so many good innings. And again, like I said, it weakens the NL League team that you will see twice still this season. The Cubs have not played the Braves yet, so if a trade goes down, and again, we've heard the reports from Bruce Levine and others that Chicago Cubs are already ready to make deals. They already have trade packages ready to offer out to teams in order to get an ace. I still would like to see them go get another hit or two, but I mean, hey, that's just me. Especially if Justin Turner can't give you anything. I mean, if he's just going to basically be a glorified bench coach, DFA him and then hire him to be a coach, but don't let him keep eating up, innings. I mean, it was nice he gave us that one walk-off win, but outside of that, and none much really for this season from Justin Turner, outside of a lot of wisdom to the guys. But you can do that from the bench as a coach, or a team advisor or whatever. But yeah, no. So for me, I just look at this and I think to myself, this is a golden opportunity here for the Chicago Cubs to really put themselves head and shoulders above the rest. You look at the Los Angeles Dodgers are struggling to find a pitcher. They're ramping up. Shohei Ohtani to potentially get him pitching this season because they keep running out of pitchers. So, I mean, like I said, they're going to need him to pitch. So you look at something like that, and it's like, man, Chicago Cubs, this is an opportunity. Do not let another NL rival. Do not let the Mets. Do not let the Dodgers. Do not let the Phillies. Do not let any other team go make a trade for Chris Sale. If he becomes available, he needs to be in Chicago, and you need to solidify yourself as one of the head and shoulders front end teams that is running not only for the NL Central but for the National League championship series also. So, yeah, that's my time for today. I appreciate each and every last one of you that are tuned into this episode. Please do me a favor, like, share, and subscribe to the channel. If this is your first time, hey, y'all, thanks for watching. Join the C3 fam. All you got to do is hit that subscribe button below. If you're watching on Apple, if you're watching on Spotify, all you have to do is hit that follow button, and you will get all the latest and greatest updates on Chicago Cubs right here on Chicago Cubs Central, your number one spot for all things Chicago Cubs. The Chicago Cubs do see the very same Phillies tomorrow. They played them again at 5:40. Once again, these two teams will do battle this time for the for the Phillies. It will be up and pitching Abel. He's 1-0 with a 0.79 ERA. And then Colin Ray will be going for the Chicago Cubs. Now, they haven't announced if Colin Ray will use a starter before him, because somebody out of the bullpen to start the game for him. He has had trouble with the home run ball. And again, as you know, Kyle Schwarber, Nicholas Castellanos, even Trey Turner, Brandon Marsh, all those guys hit bombs. So the last thing you want to do is get blown out, and potentially risk a sweep, because again, you got to see Jesus Luzardo on Wednesday at 12:10. So, and that's going to be a tough game for the Chicago Cubs. They have really struggled against him. So this is the game right here. If you're going to take one, at least if you're going to take one, this is the game to get this game. So you gotta make sure that you're not giving up a bunch of runs. And Colin Ray struggles with the home run ball very much so. So we'll just have to see what is in store. But thank you guys so much for tuning in. I'll be back again with another episode tomorrow. Let me know your comments on the Chris Sale trade. Do you think Chicago Cubs should do it, pull the trigger, and what would you offer? Until next time, go Cubs.
Thank you for watching another episode of Chicago Cubs Central, the #1 spot for all Chicago Cubs content. Remember to like, share, subscribe for more Cubs content.